Now, I think this will be huge, like change the face of the entire industry as we know it. Huge. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Rose, and today we're going to be talking about the future of skincare, that is. Now, 2020 has not got off to a great start. I think it's fair to say, but I think it's important in times like these to think about things that we can start looking forward to when this all ends. I'm going to lay out for you today what I think are going to be the biggest trends for skincare in 2020. So number one, 2019 was all about glass skin, and I think 2020 is going to be all about cream skin. So glass skin was all about creating super luminous, super glowy, blemish-free skin by layering up lots and lots of different products in very thin layers. So you had your toners, and then you had your essences, your serums and ampules, and then your moisturizers on top. Cream skin is much more about paring down those steps, but still creating that luminous, glowy skin that everyone's looking for. So I guess it's more of a practice and a look than just an aesthetic. So it's important to say here, when you're talking about skin, in the Korean language, skin, you're actually talking about product types as well as kind of what this is on your face. So toners and essences and things like that. And along that vein, cream skin is a toner and a moisturizer rolled into one product. This trend will really feed into the more popular way of minimalizing your skincare routine, which is why I think it's going to be super popular. Now, there are a couple of products already out which promote this kind of cream skin product type. The first is the Laneige Cream Skin Toner and Moisturizer. CosRx have also come out with a product that's called the Real Water to Toner Cream, and HANSKIN also have their Avocado Cream Skin. So if you're wanting to jump on this trend, pick up any one of those three. The only one that I've tried is the Laneige version, which I love, but I've heard great things about the other two as well. I think the next trend is going to be clean beauty. Now, a big issue in South Korea is microdust. For me, for example, I really struggle with asthma, etc, etc. So the microdust does play a big part in my kind of everyday life. I have to avoid dusty areas, and I have to avoid places that I think the air quality will be low. And clean beauty is really a response to the rising level of pollution globally. It's basically being hyper aware of the ingredients in your skincare and shying away from any ingredients that could be potentially irritant to your skin. Examples of these could be artificial colors, fragrances, mineral oils, silicone and parabens, which are usually used to preserve as a preservative. You'd actually be really surprised as to how many of these ingredients are present in your skincare and also your cosmetics. And I think that this is a really important trend because it will mean healthier skin for everyone if companies have an interest in making sure that their products are as safe as humanly possible. The next one I'm going to talk about kind of links in with clean beauty, but instead of being hyper aware of what's in your beauty products, people are also being much more aware about where their products come from in terms of their environmental footprint, the sustainability aspect of their skincare. Seoul, for example, already has a really strict rule with like trash. Like you have to put food in one bag, recycling in another bag, and then they all go to different bins, and you have to buy different bin bags for it all, and it's all very stressful. But that's just an example of how into being environmentally conscious South Koreans are, and that feeds a lot into K-beauty. So there are a number of companies that are doing things like creating more eco-friendly packaging, like recyclable packaging, or shops that allow you to go and get refills, or shops that certainly allow you to recycle their casings, right? So when you finish a moisturizer or something, you can take it back to the store you bought it from and they'll recycle it for you. Avocado, for example, is a Korean brand that has created sheet masks that come all in one tub rather than all individually packaged, which is a really good way of being more sustainable. And then another company, 228, have completely recyclable, biodegradable packaging. I think this is just an example of skincare and the skincare industry mimicking the general culture of life, of people trying to be more sustainable, and I think it's great and I'm all for it and I think it's fantastic. The next trend I'm going to talk about is a new ingredient that I think is going to be used a lot. Now, over the years, there's always been a super hyped ingredient. A couple years ago, it was Centella asiatica. There was a time when willow bark was really popular, tea tree oil, bee venom. There's always these kind of like really super hyped new ingredients. However, it usually is the case that these ingredients aren't actually new. They've been used in medicine and herbal skincare for centuries and centuries, and the same can be said for this particular ingredient, and that is ginseng. However, a new way of extracting ginseng has been developed, which I think will prove a jump-off point and make the ingredient even more popular than it already is at the moment. So historically, companies would always extract ginseng from the root, but now there's been a new technique developed, which means that they can now extract from the seed. And extracting from the seed means that the ingredient is kind of boosted. So all of the great things that come from using ginseng in your product are again boosted. So I think we'll see a ton of new products using ginseng. Solwasu, for example, are a company that use ginseng a lot. There are so many great products from Solwasu that contain ginseng, and I would highly recommend using a couple of those if you haven't already. But also Danahan have recently come out with a new series of products which use ginseng seed. This is called their Ginseng Seed Secret range, and if I remember correctly, there's an essence and an emulsion right now, and they cost between like $40 to $60. I think ginseng, especially ginseng seed extraction, is going to be the new hyped thing, and you're going to see a ton of products come out using ginseng. Another skincare trend that I think is going to be absolutely huge in 2020 is going to be, I think people are going to become kind of obsessed with the skin's microbiome. Now, speaking earlier of Solwasu, their parent company, Amore Pacific, is actually the company that is pioneering this research. They're kind of spearheading this whole thing. So when I'm talking about the skin's microbiome, I'm talking about all of the living organisms that live and thrive on your skin naturally. So that could be bacteria, fungi, viruses. Looking into that, understanding that, and letting that dictate our skincare requirements and needs. So mostly all of these organisms kind of get along very well, they're good neighbors, and there's no problems. But when they don't get along, when they clash, that's when you have an issue with your skin. Acne, redness, but also more volatile skin issues like eczema and psoriasis, rashes, stuff like that. Now, Amore Pacific are doing a ton of research at the moment about that, because they think that learning about how the skin's microbiome works will mean that we can create products that will specifically target certain issues that our skin's having, and it will mean that our skincare is way more efficient. So there's going to be a much more of a focus on figuring out why these organisms don't get on, and if you're missing certain types of bacteria or something like that, and producing products that create harmony within your skin's microbiome. As someone who struggles a lot with eczema, I'm keeping particularly close tabs on this one, because it will change my life. If they figure it out, change my life. And I would be so excited about that, because there's a lot of research that basically says that if they can figure out how the skin's microbiome works, then eczema can be pretty much cured. Yeah, I really hope this is a trend. I hope this is a thing. The next thing that I think is going to be a huge trend for 2020 is men's skincare. Now, I think this will be huge, like change the face of the entire industry as we know it huge. Now, I notice this much more when I'm in South Korea than when I'm in London or the States, but I'm definitely starting to see this much more elsewhere. It's definitely becoming more of a thing globally. Men are becoming much more interested in maintaining their skin, and they're becoming much more discerning about what skincare they're using. My boyfriend, for example, has a really great multi-step routine that he does every single morning and every single evening without fail. And he's not alone. It's much more common for men to chat about skincare with their friends and with their girlfriends, and to have proper implemented skincare routines. It's not seen as a masculine in the slightest, and neither should it, because like fuck those gender stereotypes. I mean, seriously. This is definitely driving companies to create much better skincare for men and more specific products for men's skin concerns. Now, I'm not saying that skincare is gender specific, because it's not, but there are issues that men deal with that women don't. For example, hair regrowth on the lower part of the face can cause like inflammation and can cause acne, ingrown hairs and stuff like that. So that is an issue that men deal with. And also just the hormone differences mean that there are sometimes differences between men's skin and women's skin. So that's the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it and that you're excited for 2020 just like I am. Even though it seems a little bit dark at the moment, I do think that there will be wonderful things on the horizons, not just within skincare but within all of your lives as well. So thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.